here I unveil for the first time the list. So, one, donate, of course.
I need your help. I'll be perfectly frank, I need your help. If you could, please.
Because without your shares, I mean, again, can't survive. And will you help? Can you help? Can you help? Please. You know, so I need new things to do, and I need your support. I need your help, my friends. I really, really do. I have been busting my ass this year like you would believe. So I need your help. I mean, again, income's down, costs are up. Please. I want your suggestions, absolutely. I want your feedback.
But he needs your money.
About what it is I should do, but I do need your help. I need your help. It's expensive. Nonetheless, even if it was a mistake, I really need your help. Please help me cover these costs. I mean, I'm on my knees here, please. I can't do anything other than,
what else can he do?
Stare you eye to eye and tell you what I need and ask for your support. Please help out. But I need your help. I need your support. And it's been a while since I've asked, and the fact that I don't like asking is not particularly relevant, but I am going to ask nonetheless. Please go to freedomain.com/donate and help me out. Help me out. Give me your suggestions, give me your feedback, give me your thoughts. This is a collective endeavor bringing this level and intensity of philosophy to the world in these desperate times. Really, really need your help. Freedomain Radio. Sorry. freedomain.com/donate. Thank you. Thank you for this incredible ride. I really, really hope it continues. I look forward to your feedback. Please, to help those who are leading the way. It's really not the easiest topic for me. Because, it's time to lift the lid. I need to tell you what the hell has been going on with this show. And I have been positive and engaged and enthusiastic. My commitment is more dangerous in a way, very central way, which is, so I survive on donations. And a lot of those donations are one-time, of course, but a lot of those donations are monthly subscriptions, right? So I, of course, have been looking for other ways to get new listeners, other ways to generate income. So went on a speaking tour. The usual.
If there's race on IQ, what IQ is this?
I wonder. Up to
on your knees begging for shekels on the internet.
Call 911. They're scared.
How high can your IQ possibly be?
Crazy it is. I mean, that's.
Turn down my mic a little bit. Sorry about that.
That's hard. That's hard. And I'm like, hey man, I'll help you out with your security costs. I'll chip in because this got to go forward and so on. And I'm out there pushing back against people who are being deplatformed. But hell's bells, man, when I was being deplatformed, who was standing up for me? You guys, yes. I mean, who out there who's like prominent and, helpful? They're not standing up for me. And income is down and I'm asking for your help. I mean, tell me what it is I should be doing. $10, $20
Tell you what you should be doing, getting a fucking job, you bum. That's what you should be doing.
To help save civilization itself.
By the way, I just can't fucking believe this, though. It blows my mind every time I read it, that this dude was hiding in ventilation shafts, whispering, please donate to freedomainradio.com, while his wife gave psychotherapy lessons in their bedroom. It's just bizarre. What a fucking world we live in. I mean, I've really seen it all at this point. I've really seen it fucking all. What a fall from fucking grace. I have to say, I am disappointed. Full fucking disappoint. There are a few people you hope never fucking defect in betraying what they stand for because it seems noble at face value. How fucking underwhelming. But let's just leave you with that. And we'll watch this, it's 2 minutes. So get your coffees ready, smoke them if you got them. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
Our appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over to the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
We are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish the same fake stories without checking facts first.
I see you, enemy. I see you, enemy. 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 You are not going to have it. Going to have it. Going to have it again.
You're not going to shoot my husband.
Nigga.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
more alarming, some media
simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon, for a new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon, that city will be a reality, and we
Now officially, good evening everybody and welcome to the Midnight Show. It is July 21st, 2022, and a lot has happened since I last broadcast on this channel. Hell, one might say things have happened that make the passage of time seem difficult to put together. Just, have you ever had one of those weeks or 2 weeks that is just so jam-packed full of stuff happening that it feels like it had been at least 2 months? That's the kind of month I'm having, especially with all of this. So, what's tonight's show about? I know that a lot of my audience here, the people that are here, are well aware. And by the way, it's good to see you all. Are well aware of this little thing called Internet Blood Sports. A little guilty pleasure of mine. In fact, the people who are around now are probably still just the people who like to hear, hey, I want to see what, we're ripping on Ralph tonight. Yeah. Oh, Mersh. Yeah, let's go. Worski, woo! Bingo card for Dax, let's go. And usually one might even call it low-hanging fruit, right? But tonight we're going to be looking into a show called Kino Casino featuring Andy Worski and PPP. Now, I'm trying to lay a foundation. Like, where do we start? I think the best place to start would be the Fuck Ralph Festival, a big stream that they hosted on their channel, brought in many people. I forget who was all there because, quite frankly, I haven't watched it. The clips of the casino that I have watched is PPP about to make a point, which is all of this is ironic considering his falling out with Surfer, his previous roommate. He's about to make a point. Worski comes in saying something incredibly obvious, and then with a hyena's laughter. It's like poetry. This current incarnation of an internet blood sports show, it has so many parallels with its former predecessors. It's redundant. With its predecessors. It has Kumite aspects. It has Worski Live aspects. It has all of these different qualities from all of these shows that have fucking burnt to the ground. So you would think, especially with Worski, who has had multiple personal run-ins with this type of show, watching it rise and fall, and you would think that they would have a good idea of how to prevent that from happening the 8th or 9th time. So anyway, the Fuck Ralph Festival was a success. The Kino Casino began to cover the misadventures of Nick Fuentes, America First, and Ethan Ralph and his crew of cronies. And in some ways, it is content that you can just go in every week. These guys, these fucking dudes promote so much shit to laugh at them about that you can do a weekly or bi-weekly show easily. However, the show descended into PPP being interrupted by Worski consistently, and PPP seemingly having learned from his mistakes and reserves himself and lets Worski, pound out a few super chats. But that's what the show is now. That's what it's become, everything it used to criticize, and it only took a couple of months. It's an inevitability. It almost seems like you can watch somebody who has a couple of thousand people, maybe a few thousand people watching them on the internet, and suddenly they think that it goes to their head immediately. And I've never seen it blow up and blow up. Blow up in popularity and blow up in spectacular fashion like I've seen it this last week. So tonight, we're going to go through a couple of things involving the, I believe it was last night's episode of Kino Casino, where Jim interviewed PPP and Worski on their usage of Power Chats, which is co-owned by Baked Alaska. Now, because they cover specifically America First people, including Baked Alaska, knowing that they're basically passing off donor information to the very people they criticize and who are not above using that information to mock them, to shame them publicly using their personal information. I believe Beardson himself used information obtained through Power Chat or through a donation which used Power Chat. Maybe it was PayPal, because you can do that with PayPal too, by the way. A good reminder to don't donate to people on the internet. I know I'm saying that. I know there's a super chat thing here, but I'm saying don't donate to people on the internet. I do appreciate One Step Too Far. That's very nice. But I see it now. I used to think it was okay. Let the people make a few extra dollars. But at some point, it always happens. The content doesn't drive the content. The donations drive the content. And it takes a back seat. I did see somebody in chat, and I'm open to the criticism, by the way, that, hey, these streams could be 30 minutes and they go on for too long. Well, what does that say about Kino Casino that has like 6-hour streams? I mean, first of all, I liked the Midnight Crockpot. The one thing I did very right with it is it was 2 hours long, and I took each segment, and it was like, this is how much time we're going to spend on this, and this. It was very, very put together. And I never did the show because I was hoping to make money. I was just trying to have a fun show with a friend of mine, Davey. And it's crazy to watch, eventually, the donations drive the content, and watch the very same people who win at everybody shamelessly beg for fucking money on the internet. And it would be one thing if it was, hey, I'm going to put a lot of effort and learn how to edit videos and start making like quality, actual content, not just a fucking camera in front of you. I'm talking about filming footage of outside and using that for like background footage, maybe making some music and using that for your stuff, like really putting production level quality into your stuff, saying, hey, I'm going to put more effort into this and I'm going to try to make a living. I can understand that and kind of respect it. Whatever the fuck. You know what? The best way to actually get into it is to just show you. It would be just to just show you. So I think the best possible way to prove my point, really, because I wanted these guys to succeed. I did. In the same way I wanted Ralph to succeed. Want people to learn from their mistakes, realize how much of an ass they're making themselves out to be on the internet, and improve themselves and improve the quality of whatever they're doing. Instead, what do you get? Here, let me show you what you get.
Witness this. Witness this. This was their show. This is their show. 5 hours.
Of his girlfriend. Wasn't that amazing?
No.
You have to say it was spot on, right?
No.
You were there.
Please give me validation for my fitness. It hurts. This was my best friend.
Here, I'll read.
Wait for it.
I reenact this friend.
Are you gonna reenact that one? Are you fine?
Look at this. Bros. What a disaster. Look at this. He's doing it as well. Okay, look at that. It's over. It's the casino's burning.
And there you have it. I rest my case. Did you ever expect to see PPP jiggle his fucking fat for super chats? I know he was doing it ironically, but he still did it. What the fuck? What? It really is backwards world, isn't it? The fuck has happened to all of these people? Shit, where... Is it this? Yeah, like... right here. It's all going down, man. And they had, like... How? And that's the real question. How did we get here, right? How did we get from the Fuck Ralph Festival, where they had the lowest hanging fruit? They're kicking around Ralph, who can barely manage his own. It's... that guy's life. I don't know if it's crazier than Chris Chan, because I wasn't around for a lot of the Chris Chan shit. But it's gotta be close. It's gotta be close. So, I'm gonna watch this video. This is from Colonel J, who's been clipping pro-Ralph clips of random stuff lately. Sort of like an anti-Sunrise, one might say. Some of the shit he's been putting out has been good. This is one of those cases, so... here it is, clip 1 out of 2, March 18th, 2022. PPP claims that Baked Alaska receives a cut of donations sent through PowerChat. Kino Casino uses PowerChat at this time.
No, I bought it. Did you do a test stream?
Yeah, it works. We got it all set up.
Do you have a PowerChat
So this
account?
this is Smiley the Fed. Smiley the Fed is like a Groiper General or whatever. He's this like trust fund kid that has been dragged along on this RV. And Baked wants him to be on Power Chat so he can get a cut of his donos. But guess what? They didn't get Power Chat set up for him. And it's like, you know what, Baked? Like, this Baked like pretends like he invented Power Chat. He had zero to do with Power Chat. And it's like, you know what, Baked? Like, this Baked like pretends
It's
like...
been a while since I streamed, guys. Ha, muted. Oh, shit. Clip 2 out of 2, April 13th, 2022. PPP claims that Lulz and Baked Alaska enlisted the help of a devout Catholic in the America First movement to develop PowerChat. Kino Casino still uses PowerChat at this time. Second time's a charm.
And it's like, you know what, Baked? Like, this Baked like pretends like he invented Power Chat. He had zero to do with Power Chat, folks. The reality of it is that Lulz and Baked went to a guy in the America First movement who was a very devout Catholic, a very staunch Catholic, and he developed the entire thing for them. And he put it all together with his connections.
Kino Casino continued to use PowerChat with full knowledge that Baked Alaska is part owner, and the platform was developed by people from the America First movement. They have also now acknowledged Godwinson's claim of PowerChat saving donor info as baseless. Now, what makes this, again, like I said with the parallels, right? It reminds you of the New Project 2 scandal, but it also reminds me of another one that now is escaping me. In any case, there was something, you have to ask yourself, what PPP from 2 to 3 years ago would have said about this exact scandal if it was somebody else involved. Anybody else. Even somebody that he trusted. He'd be like, oh, that's bad. That's awful. And I hope I do see a couple super chats coming in, and I appreciate it. But since my criticism of that very thing was active earlier, I'll read those a little bit later. I do appreciate the support. Thank you. See, there it is. That's how it fucking starts, chat. That's how it fucking starts. Oh man, I'll just acknowledge one super chat that comes through. Next thing you know, I'm shaking my ass and my fucking titties. God damn, man. What a fucking disaster. So let's switch over, maybe. Is this overlay a little too much? I have a Kino Casino bingo card. That's up there on screen too. You see, originally the plan was to make a Ralph-a-mail bingo card, right? I was going to take 25 squares and put "it's not true." As a matter of fact, it was probably you. That type of shit. All Ralphisms throughout it. Just didn't get around to it by the time I wanted to have a go, to have a watch of this trash fire with you guys. So I'll just start the video and we'll get into it. So this is 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the latest Kino Casino. There we go. So the Rake Back, their new show. Now, the reason I'd like to watch this with you in live, like watch it along with you, as lazy as it might be, is there's just a lot of bullshit and funny things to point out throughout the duration of this fucking live stream. You know, I do think that this is a bit much. I'm just going to switch it over.
Alrighty, folks, welcome to the 21st edition of the Rake Back. It's the blackjack for the house, or are we going to get blacked? I don't fucking know, folks, but it's time to fucking gamble. Exciting fucking events throughout all this last week. We're going to address all the controversy, all the fucking drama. We've got
I wish
Daddy
it had been better.
Jim,
I
my
will say
dad,
that.
is here with us in the casino to ask the hard-hitting questions. You know, it's funny with me and Jim. Started out, I was grilling him about like a payment processor. Then we ended up doing some shows together, felting Ralph, felting others. Now it's gone full circle. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Now Jim's
lots of
gonna be
tomatoes in
grilling
chat,
me
by the
about
way.
the
I'm
payment
seeing many
processor,
tomatoes
so
in chat, and they
let's
have it
see
in
how
slow
it
mode
goes,
still.
folks.
That's right. I'm here with the tough questions tonight, boys.
Very
and I think the opening question that we should start with is, what made you both decide to handle this in the most retarded fucking manner possible?
Move that down.
Well, you know who you're dealing with, right? You're
Hell
dealing
yeah,
with the
yeah,
retarded
tomatoes,
Phoenix
fuck
and the
yeah.
retarded
Hell yeah,
Canadian,
that's what I'm talking about, boys.
Sometimes, Jim,
That's what
you
I like to
fuck
see.
up. And it is what it is. You
See,
fuck up.
Chad just
You
light
try
up with
and
the
learn
color of
from it, you
tomatoes.
try and
That's
do
what we're
better.
talking about. Even if it's
But
not
yeah,
me, I love
you know,
me some
the
tomatoes.
handling
Hell
of
yeah.
this hasn't been the very best.
No.
I tell you that.
Well, I've seen the revolt in your chat. I can see partially it's still going on. I'm sure some of it's astroturfing, but you get a lot of tomatoes.
Well,
and I saw that your Janny's
The tomato
had an
harvest has
uprising.
been
Are you Janny
pretty good,
tonight?
I have to admit.
Well,
I don't know if it was as good as the corn
the
harvest. but it's
Channies
been
that
pretty good.
I have in the first place, they're not anybody that was close to us to begin with. They're guys that I literally mod like 3 years ago just for fucking fun. And they barely ever fucking modded anyway. But
On the
yeah,
real
they
though,
weren't
Johnny
happy.
Arcade, like hearing that the particular way he had displayed the troubles he had been confronted with. If he had said something like, I was wrong, and I was confronted with hardships that made me change my mind and realize I was foolish and immature. Boom. What happened was e-begging campaign, effectively, or someone trying to emotionally manipulate you or something. Like, that's the vibe I got from it anyway. It was bizarre, coming from PPP. Threw me off guard as a viewer. I get it, like, life comes at you fast, man. Your fucking friend tells you to fuck off, and you have to go live in a trailer somewhere, and you're cold, and you've lost everything. Shit, man, some people might say, I've been there before. And shit, you know how... I wonder what PPP had to say when shit happened to other people, is all I'll say. Well, we know. We already know. Heartless, fucking, well, I hope you enjoy sucking dick on the fucking corner, because that's all you're I can hear already what PPP would have said to current PPP. It's kind of rich. It was, for lack of a better word, insulting to hear that. Even if it was true, the particular way he went about telling that story and explaining it came off like a sob story of somebody trying to manipulate you, rather than somebody going, hey, I was wrong. I have to eat fucking crow. I see now when you're down and out that maybe trying to e-grift might not be so bad. Something along those lines. But like I said, it was bizarre. But let's continue.
The long-term fans aren't fucking happy with the direction of
yeah,
the show.
okay, exactly.
I'm
as SMG says in chat, PPP celebrated Jim having cancer. So the guy who he's talking to, he literally celebrated having cancer, and now is going, well, I was cold, man. You know, hard times, bro. It's just insane, right? It's just, like, he does these, and by the way, throughout this entire stream, I lost count of how many things he said where I'm like, I've heard Ralph say that. I've heard Ralph say that. All of this stuff, I've heard Ralph say that. What a fucking shame. But you know that I would have enjoyed this stream on my own with my friends and had a laugh at PPP and Worski. Maybe a little at Jim too. I would have done this in private on my own. But that shit with Godwinson really got under my skin, man. That is real fucking... I'll comment on it when it comes up. But just the one thing that really made me go, you're pathetic, man. You're gonna... I'll just say what I have to say now, and I'll reiterate it again when it comes up, huh? How about that? The part where I lost all sympathy for his sob story came when he was talking about how Godwinson was going to be brought in as a third chair, possibly. $2,000 a month, or whatever it was. Maybe it was a week. Fuck if I know. I can't quite remember. But Godwinson was to be brought in to help the Kino Casino, right? And he would be paid for his appearances. I think this is a little different than shaking his titties for super chats. But, you know, anyway. So, just the other day, Godwinson put out a video on Kino Casino, exposing them to internet insanity. A video I actually have pulled up right here. A pretty decent Godwinson video. It's nice to see. Just nice to see Godwinson back. He's one of the ones that I still enjoy to watch. And I guess PPP's reaction is to show Godwinson's PayPal email and PayPal.me link, which I would assume is private. To make matters worse, when he's begging for Jim's sympathy on Kino Casino, wouldn't you know it, but he happens to go into detail a little bit more. Begins to explain what kind of job Godwinson has. Begins to explain, also it's really demeaning. Just conveniently for my narrative, my best friend who had, had just betrayed me, I'm just going to happen to release what info I know about his line of work. Fuck you, man. That was some real scummy shit, dude. I've seen that isn't even Ralph tier. That might be below Ralph tier. Anyway, let's continue.
Willing to admit that. Some of them aren't happy. But yeah, that did happen. But it's not the first time we've had a chat revolt, and it probably won't be the last.
And for what it's worth... It is the first... Sorry, I'm going to pull a Worski here and not let the fucking clip play. But for what it's worth, Jim... man of the hour for stopping that shit and going, look, let's cut this out. Let's not do this. This can easily come. This isn't cool. What the fuck, dude? If he hadn't have stopped him, who knows what else he might have said in regards to that might have narrowed down exactly who he works for. Real scumbag move indeed. All right, now let's go through here.
First time you've had a Janny revolt, though.
No.
I mean, Sargoy has refused to sweep it up for fucking years. I took away his broom momentarily. I gave it back because it's his destiny to sweep. But he's revolted in the past.
Has he?
Yeah, he always he keeps. Listen, Sargoy back in the day was one of the most ruthless janitors I'd ever seen. Back in the Cooking with Surfer days. Holy fuck, he just kept banning me. I said, Sargoy, why do you keep doing this? And he was like, I don't know, man.
This is what we're going to call a full watch, by the way.
So now, the reason I bring it up is we're unprotected tonight. The chat can say whatever they like. There's no Jannies there to sweep it.
There are no Jannies to sweep it up. Only us, Jim.
No, Andy, will you do me the favor?
Sure.
Because that chat's on slow mode. I want to see how fast they can throw tomatoes. Will you unslow mode that chat?
I'll have to. Cause
Andy, Ashton, can you unslow mode that chat?
Let's see.
And let the people speak tonight.
I'm so confused as well, man. What a weird fucking timeline.
Where is it? See, I don't even really know how to fucking do this.
This is why you shouldn't have fired your Jannies.
Well, it's funny how they do that, yeah.
The Jannies don't really
even
do
if you're
anything,
arguing that's what I'm doing, I don't know.
Let me see here.
I don't think I've done directly the opposite of what I'm preaching here.
I don't know. I actually don't know. You know, I'm not. Okay, there it is. Okay, here we go, Jim. Here we go.
Everyone,
You
let
gotta
him
remember,
fly.
buddy.
Let him
I used
fly.
to
Part of the
just
internet is
fucking
one big
stream
cope.
with
It
a
really is,
fucking
though.
phone, brother. You know.
They need the catharsis. They need the fuck. There we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
There you go,
There
Chad.
There it is.
Oh,
It's
there
blurry
it
now.
is. There's so many.
Chat, can we see 2,500 tomatoes getting thrown at these fucks? Come on.
There's a lot
I know
of tomatoes.
there's some mad there.
Let
it out.
They're rattled, Jim. They're rattled.
Well, we do have a lot to talk about. There were some stuff I wanted to talk about. I have some clips too that I think will elucidate the conversation. I know that's a big word. If
You're
you're
close.
A day
You
drinker.
have to figure out how to
you
get the
doing, Ralph? I'm
text
sure
to
you're
turn a little
excited
gray,
right
and
now.
then it would look correct.
But you know, we'll get to it. But I guess it goes down to like one of two things. One's the personal, one's the professional. What do you boys want to start with?
It doesn't matter, man. Honestly, whatever you want to start with, we can deal with.
Anything is good, man. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's start with the professional because I think the power chat thing's the big thing.
Sure.
So I guess my introduction to what was kind of going on with that, or what the concerns about that were through Twitter. Now, there's an account that Ralph is convinced is a transsexual Antifa member that's hunting him down, I think VHS Archive. They had brought up information about Beardson doxing some of his donators through power chat. And then it got into a conversation about who owns that platform as a payment platform. You know, like who is the person behind that processor? Now, my take on this was that it was Luz, right?
Yeah, Luz.
Yeah. It was an IP2 thing that he did it himself, and that's not the case. And in fact, it's a lot worse than it looks, especially given the interview he gave about 3 days ago. So I kind of wanted to get into that. Like, were you warned? Because I know Godwinson did a video. I know other people have talked about this. Were you warned that there were issues that were potentially there with power chat and that was not a safe payment processor to use for donators?
No. How it started was when I was on D-Line.
Like, here, I'll stop to this because I do want to respond in chat to Dog Munch here. He says Godwinson should have never gotten into the pin with the IBS community if he ever wanted a proper, respectable job. It's his own fault. What did these people expect would happen to them? Well, it wasn't always like this. And I think you can enjoy content on the internet, or maybe even produce it yourself without having somebody you trusted leak your personal information or hint at it in the way that PPP has done. I don't think that's any sort of excuse. I don't think any of these people should be excused for doing life ruination tactics on one another. It's fucking shameful, and they should be told it's shameful. That's all I had to say on that.
So he's friends with all the IP2 stuff. We covered all the IP2 stuff all the time. That's right after like the whole January 6th thing happened, and they removed our lemons, like anyone who was kind of edgy. So Lulz, he was streaming, and then it ended up releasing. It was called Lulz.tips.
Yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had access to it, and we used it ever since for like 2 years, and I think it turned into power chat about 6 months ago. From what my understanding was, and Ashton's understanding was, Lulz had a buddy, like a developer, who made this basically to have people not get banned for IP2 stuff or for whatever.
That developer, according to him, an interview he gave to RV Andy, I think it was 3 days ago. So that initial developer was Bake's close friend. That's the person that set the entire thing up.
The guy went by the name of Saint,
right?
And he was a developer, but yeah,
I hadn't even heard about that.
Right, and to be fair, he walked away because he thought that IP2 were too degenerate to provide financial services for. So maybe that's initially where some of the split came from. But so
a lot of the split also came because of what Baked was doing as well. Because he had an issue with Baked Alaska asking women to show their tits and shit like this. So he wasn't on friendly terms with Baked since last year.
So Luz puts up his payment thing. It's tips.win or whatever the fuck it is. He changes it to power chat. You guys use it. When did you first start hearing that there might be an issue with it? If you didn't hear about it at first, when did you first start hearing concerns about it?
That was when I think it was when Baked said something a few weeks ago or some shit where he said something along the lines of, "Oh, I own part of Power Chat," and I was like, "What?" Because I had never heard any of Baked owning Power Chat, and as soon as that happened, Ashton and I got into a call and we said, "Look, we can't fucking use Power Chat if Baked."
Okay, so I believe we watched a video a little bit ago, right when we started here, that showed exactly that he's lying, more or less. So, clip 1, March 18th, 2022, PPP claims that Baked Alaska receives a cut of donations sent through Power Chat. April 13th, 2022, PPP claims that Lowell's and Baked Alaska enlisted the help of a devout Catholic in the America First movement to develop Power Chat. Anyway, the other thing I felt like I needed to say, and I let the clip play and just held on to my thought. Just a note for Andy, if you're listening, that's something you could do. Andy seems to be under the presumption that PayPal is allegedly hacked or something, and I don't believe anyone has ever said that or is alleging that. I believe, I'll put it like this, right? If you have a PayPal donation, right, paypal.me/whatever, when you get a donation from somebody, unless you have a business account, it sends you all their information. So that's been a thing for a while. However, it wasn't something to take note of until Beardson recently got trolled through a donation sent through Power Chat and immediately used that to dox the person who made fun of him. So that everyone, you get that information. Andy has it all. If you've ever sent him a PayPal donation, unless you have a business account, he has your everything. And in good faith, up until, I don't know, maybe a year ago, people would tend not to do something like that because it sends out a message to other people. Say if you dox one of the people that donated to you as a troll, it makes other people wonder, well, when's he going to dox me for thinking something I said was a jab and it really wasn't? It puts that thought out there to everybody. That could be me. Up until recently, people were wise enough to realize that once you poison that well, there's no unpoisoning it. There's no putting that genie back in the bottle. So, yeah. Donations ruin literally every fucking show on the internet. It's insane. It creates this ego of delusion. And, to the point to where you guys remember this shit. Live streaming wasn't around at this time when Ralph was in jail, apparently, according to, She Who Shall Not Be Named. I wonder if Ralph could get away with that. Calling AIDS 0, she who now shall not be named. She was saying that, Ralph bragged about his e-clout while he was in jail. I can't imagine how it's going to go if that sentence gets unsuspended. But I think I've rambled on a little bit long enough. Let's pound through some super chat. I'm just kidding. Let's get back to the clip.
Involved, and there was also talks about Nick possibly taking a cut of the money or some shit. So that was when we instantly went, okay, look, from what we knew about Power Chat, it was this saint dude, but he was so disenfranchised by America First and all this stuff. That's what we heard from some people from behind the scenes. Sure. The minute we heard Baked say that, it was like, oh, what the fuck? And we instantly took that off.
It was the same thing with Jaden, who was public enemy number one of America First, continued to use it after he left America First, and he was the treasurer of the America First Foundation. So if there was any risk, Jaden would have known. He kept using it. The reason that both him and us discontinued it is simply because it looked bad. It undercut the message. And I would like to apologize to anybody who felt like the message was undercut by our use of that service. But I think that everybody's information is safe. But I do understand a lot of people would be upset. They're like, this undercuts the message.
I'm pretty sure it's not safe, bro. Like, as I mentioned before, if you send like a PayPal donation and Power Chat is integrated through PayPal, I just don't understand. Yeah, it sends all of that information, maybe not the credit card information, but everything else. I think your information is safe. I don't know about that. I don't know anything about Lulz. Well, I know not enough about him to judge his character. I can say that if he's business partners with Baked Alaska, it doesn't look very fucking promising. But anyway, we'll continue on here because we haven't really got to like the bullshit parade here. We're still in like the first act. So buckle up. Like I said, smoke them if you got them. Make yourself some coffee. Pour yourself a drink. Whatever it is you like to do. Sit back and relax as we watch two basement dwellers do everything possible to avoid getting a day job.
Associated with these guys, and I get that. And I think, to be honest with you, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't use it.
Yeah,
I think it was a mistake.
Bro, I don't know why you're so mad. Like, talking shit about when people do fucked up bullshit is a crux of internet blood sports. So now trying to I see what you're doing in the chat here. Like, oh man, this is all stupid. When calling anybody out when they do something fucked up is just lame. That's literally the entire sphere here. I don't know why you're tilted. And there's a few people that are just genuinely upset at the beginning of the stream too. He said, Noel does better streams. Well, shit, man. I agree. I actually watched Matt at the internet. And I know I'm rusty, man, but I just don't. You don't have to be so upset, all of you. You don't have to live in Copesville, dude. You can just sit back and laugh at all these idiots, and it doesn't have to be a gotcha at the person who's moralizing. Not every time. I mean, the thing about moralizing is it's only really bad if, say, you moralize about things you don't really believe in, and then back up on those things later on. So, feel free to call me a hypocrite if and when the time comes. I will absolutely eat my shit sandwich, as I have done time and time again. So, I will keep an eye out though, because I do like some people calling like, "Hey man, you're being full of shit right now," because the introspection is important. Especially I'm learning with how little e-cloud it takes a person to have it go to their fucking head.
I think everybody's information is safe, and I haven't seen any information that would prove to the otherwise.
I will answer. I will also bring up one thing. We talked about this last week, but I'll just bring it up because I'm sure you'll ask us. So what happens through Power Chat, just so people know how it works, you don't actually enter your information into Power Chat. There is like a thing where you can put your name and your message and all that stuff. That's what's entered into Power Chat, and it uses a piggyback system off PayPal and all that to sort of like be like the middleman.
Yeah, it's a backdoor.
Yeah, it's the backdoor. Now the thing is, and I've said this before, is that when you use your PayPal, if it's a personal PayPal, there is a way, and this is like many donation services have this when they use that backdoor, is you receive
it's not a hack though. See what I mean?
From their PayPal,
it's a receipt.
Saying
you get a receipt from
blah,
the transaction.
Blah, blah, donated, blah, blah, blah. So that's when Beardson, that's when this whole thing started. Like, it was right, I think, a few days before the baked announcement that he owned Power Chat, was Beardson was pissed off at a donator, and he actually opened up the PayPal email and went, "Hey," whatever his name was, and then he said it like over and over and over. This is when people started saying, "Oh, does it get your credit card information? Does it get your this, that, the other?" And the answer is no.
Fair enough. I think we all are coping. We have our coping mechanisms, eh?
Who really showed no
I'll concede to
that it was Power Chat, but their cards were compromised. But I've been using it for 2 years now, and hundreds and hundreds of people have donated. I've asked many people, "Hey, is your card okay?"
Johnny Arcade. It's like a kid with Downs telling me how rockets work.
I was asking a bunch of people. No one's information had been leaked. So these two random people with no evidence said, "Oh yeah, all my information was released," but that is untrue.
Sure, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the confusion right now is
yeah.
What's the involvement, who's involved, how does this even work? How does Power Chat even work? Now, I know when Louis started this, they didn't make any money. That's not true anymore. Off Google Pay, it's now 10% fee coming off, 3% for Google, 7% for him. Now, he claims in his interview that 7% goes to development. But if Power Chat is charging 7% a fee between that transaction, where's that interception happening? Are they charging the person as a transaction happens so they get both ends of it? Are they just charging you after you receive the money? He doesn't go on to explain that.
I believe it's after you receive it.
Yeah,
correct?
because so say you donate whatever, like $10 to me, the PayPal fee I get is
not PayPal, Google Pay.
Oh, that I'm not sure because
he's not doing
I don't
PayPal
think I can
yet.
handle much more of listening to Worski desperately attempt to understand things. Holy fuck, man. Here we go.
So you can see how it is.
I think what Ashton is saying is he's grown as a person.
Well, I've changed.
I think what
They put the time code after his.
He was coming in here, and I gave.
Did you catch that, guys? A little subtlety. Time code is after the time where he got cold.
I think what really was sort of like why we brushed it off more than we should have was the accusation that we were working with feds. Like they literally said, hey, Ashton and Andy are working with feds, this and that, and they overblew it to something that's so ridiculous to us that it was almost like okay, like no,
later night out. Good to see you.
Well, it's honestly like it was just kind of like me giving a fuck you, which wasn't probably the right. It wasn't the right way to go.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the reality.
Well, you were full of piss and vinegar about MB2, Chinese mafia.
I sure was.
Good faith and all of that.
Was.
Josh clearly is still upset about it, which is understandable. So yeah, I mean, it is like you said, it is ironic to see this kind of happening now.
Yeah.
Now, if the old PPP, if this situation were reversed and it was
perfect question, by the way, but I wanted to pause it. What's this about Andy flying to the USA and getting catfished and blueballed? I've heard that. I don't know the details, but I have heard that. I don't know if, of course, it's probably not true. It never is true, conveniently. But I believe, yes, that had happened. That's
Jim,
lore, anyway.
Sitting with Andy as co-host, and the old PPP was coming in here, and I gave the explanations you did about Power Chat. What would the old PPP?
He wouldn't accept them, but the difference.
No, not that he wouldn't accept them. What would he say? What would he say in that situation?
He'd be like, "You motherfucker, you grifting piece of shit. You're working for the feds. Da 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 da. Here's this. Here's this." The thing is, I'm not the same person as I was fucking 2-3 years ago. A lot of things have changed with me, and I've embraced the grift. And, the Jim of 2014, 2015 would also say different things about the Jim of 2022 as well. So you can see how it is.
I think what Ashton is saying is he's grown as a person.
Well, I've changed.
That's very sweet of you. No,
I've changed. I was very immature back in the day.
Okay, the time code is before the story. My bad. I'll have to correct myself there.
Trying to fuck up everybody's grift, everybody's fucking livelihood. But
I was trying to listen to that. That's the other thing, especially now when it's his little grift got put up conveniently after everyone got deplatformed. One might say that was the point all along. Maybe I'm being suspicious here, but also just admitting to attacking people's livelihoods just seems at the very least the optics of that, man. Give your head a shake, dude.
I'm now in that position where I'm grifting. It's my livelihood. And I realize there's really nothing wrong with making money online, and I think you came to the same fucking position over time.
Right. Green Lobster in there with
so there's a difference between me from 2-3 years ago and me from today. Again, I went through a lot in my personal life. I had a best friend of 4 years. It didn't work out with him. He called the police on me. I was in a quasi-homeless state, living off COVID bucks. I didn't want to fucking take the vaccine. I couldn't find fucking work. I ended up, dead fucking broke in a cabin in the middle of the woods in winter, freezing. There was no insulation. I was fucking freezing.
Okay, I've seen a lot of X's to doubt on him actually being cold, but I mean, Canada does get really fucking cold. Now, what really came off as rich to me is hearing a man saying, I had fallen, my best friend had turned his back on me. And then in the same stream, try to ruin his the livelihood of another former friend of his within like an hour, back to back. It probably won't even be too long after this clip that he decides to go into detail about Godwinson's employment.
Struggling.
Keep in mind, he lives in the UK
that cabin
too.
when you
work for like a
cold,
politician or something like that. Your job could easily be taken for some dumb bullshit
and
you
you
do on the
have
internet.
that personal betrayal in your life, and the guy is talking about your personal life and everything like that.
I know, right?
I made a vow to myself I would
never,
that's
the other thing
ever let myself get to that position.
Most people don't even get a free cabin and have to survive on
COVID
bucks
opportunities
alone.
available to me at that
I sure
time
as fuck didn't get
because
COVID
I didn't
bucks.
want to take the vaccine.
I got one check
and
for
I couldn't
$600
get work from home was to start grifting. And I knew Andy knew how to make
Biden
money.
sniffed my ear, slapped my ass, and said,
and Andy
"Smoke
helped
up,
me get
Johnny."
Started. He fucking got me equipment.
I sent him all this money and stuff.
And when we did start to make money and everything, was
there was a
going
time,
well,
man.
and
But
I
go
went to
back and
pay
watch
him
some of those
back.
better streams. There are lots of times where he goes into some weird, gross sexual tangent, and it leaves a awkward silence in the air.
And so that's my point on that.
Well, a big thing too to say about how he's changed. When we talked, obviously it was sketchy because Ashton has said probably the most vile things about me that any person on the internet
Ashton
has
Park said
besides
to
Ralph.
you, my dude,
Like,
that he would put a bullet in your head.
Ashton, like,
I think I've said
He
put a
said
bullet
this
in his
about
head.
you,
I think
Worst.
I've
my
said
family,
the same thing about
my
Jim.
family and shit. Yeah. But the thing was, I had
Man,
this
literally
ended by
said he wanted to
Tyler.
kill you, and
I
now you
always
are
thought
grifting and
Ashton
begging
was
for money
funny.
right beside him.
Whether,
The
like,
IBS community
even
is
though he
something
was a
else,
little
isn't
bit
it?
psychotic. And I thought, hey, a show with two who used to be enemies, And the more I talked to Ashton, we were like talking before the show even started, and I would say we became very friendly with each other. And you didn't see
Isn't
like
it
the
sad
Ashton
that he
you were
became like a
before,
more
definitely,
pathetic
100%.
Gator? Because at least
And then
Gator
when we
had a
fired-
job,
then I
right?
sent you all that
Gator
money. I
was a
paid for
Janny for the
Fiverr
kill
shit
stream.
for the intro. I got everything
Mostly out
already.
of passion.
In all
Right?
fairness
Personal
to Ashton, again,
obligation maybe,
he
but
did
passion
go,
nonetheless.
Well, after we made our first check, or like the first proper check,
PPP
he went,
is
"And
Worski's
here's the,
like
1,000."
slave for,
and I went,
for
"No.
a living.
Listen, we're in this together. Let's fucking do it."
I can't decide which one's worse.
That's how that whole thing materialized. But Ashton was.
Oh yeah,
well,
dude,
and
it's a dead
I think
horse.
this leads kind of into some of the other things. So let's talk about Godwinson.
Sure.
First off, can you say his name? Can you say
Godwinson.
Godwinson? Because the
Of course
chat
I can
acts.
say
The chat
Godwinson.
acts. No, just Godwinson.
say his name. Say his name, motherfucker.
Can you say Godwinson?
Yeah, of course I can. The reason I didn't want to address it is because myself and Godwinson were such good friends, and me and him had said to each other, we're never going to say a bad word about each other. And I took that very seriously because of our friendship. And I never wanted to say a bad word about him.
I was going to mute myself while I laughed, but instead let me pause this fucker. That really sounds just like what Ralph had to say about Gator, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound just like what Ralph had to say about Gator? I wish I had thought about that detail and pulled up that clip. But I believe it's very similar.
Or fight with him on the internet or anything like that. I just didn't want to have fucking drama with him. And my hope was if I ignored it, it would go away. But, I should have known better. I know how it fucking goes. I know how the playbook is. And I shouldn't have fucking done that. But I didn't want to fire back at Godwinson about stuff because in order to rebut some of what he's saying, I have to go into some of his personal life. And I don't want to reveal, some of the details and stuff like that I didn't want to fucking go into.
Well, speaking of that, I think one of the big criticisms of the video that you put out was the accusation you doxed him by putting up his PayPal information. Did you?
Well, so here's what happened. I wanted to make it very clear that it wasn't kayfabe, it wasn't whatever. He did take the money. Now, me and Andy got drunk as fuck. I'm sitting there, we're talking about the situation. And I'm like, did you ever see the video Coach put up about Godwinson? And he's like, no, I never did. So I put it on. He's like, shit, we should just throw this up because
I think it's funny, It's at least something until the interview with you.
And a lot of the points that Coach was making, I felt were relevant to the personal situation between me and him and whether or not he was going to come onto the show and things like this. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to throw that up. And I was like, well, how do I spice it up a little bit. I saw on the it was
And then I
from
passed out, as you saw in the
well,
video.
yeah. So
I literally
we were
passed
like
right out
at the bottom of the 40-ounce bottle of vodka, fucking bunch of beers, bunch of ciders. You know what else?
Yeah.
So anyway, then I'm on that same Shitstream Archive channel. I see the video of talking about the hats, where Godwinson criticizes you for selling out and grifting and selling hats and all this shit.
Sure.
And I go, this is a video where Godwinson makes his position on grifting very, very clear, that all forms of monetization are wrong and that you shouldn't involve yourself in it. You're selling your soul. You're sending the wrong message to children at school to be e-celebs instead of doctors and lawyers. And this was his position. So I say, okay, I'll put that up. And then what I'll do is, because I'm going to throw up some DMs where he's asking me for the money, which contradicts his message in that video. And I want to put up the PayPal receipt showing that, in fact, yes, he really did take this money, because sometimes with what me and Godwinson do, it's hard to tell what's real, what's not, what's an exaggeration. The problem was I was drunk as fuck and didn't. Now, his name being out there, it's been out there for a long time. Even with his YouTube channels he's had in the past have been called like Adam Edge of the Multiverse, stuff like this.
Oh, you're doubling down.
There was some sensitive there was some
doubling
sensitive
down. Okay.
information
That
that I
was my
didn't
reaction to.
realize the extent of when I put that out. And because of that, I trimmed out that section initially when I learned. And then I said, you know what? It's just not appropriate to leave this up. This was a mistake, and I took it down. And that's the situation with that.
So the position is it was a drunk doxing.
Yeah.
It's like a drive-by drinking. Okay.
That is what it is.
It's like literally what happened.
But now you've said his name again on stream. So, I mean, now I'm in the awkward position because I don't want to do it, but now that it's been put out there, is that his name or is that just a title? Is the sensitive information you excluded the name? Is that why you took the video down? And if so, why would you say the name again on stream?
No, the name isn't what's sensitive. But I don't want to get in, like, you know what I mean? But that is his fucking name. He goes by it. He's gone by it for years. People have known that that's his name for years.
So. I had some channels with his name there.
Well, and not only that, but it's been leaked out and also all over the place.
But
it's
it was something
Farms,
else
it's on Cow.
Yeah, it was something else that was part of that
But the intention
PayPal.
wasn't to dox him
No,
or whatever. My intention was just to make kind of a drunken shit post about him and kind of expose a bit of the hypocrisy. It wasn't supposed to be a serious video. It wasn't supposed to be me intimidating him. But I did make a mistake by doing that, and I own up to that.
So why hold back? It seems like Godwinson made a lot of claims in his video. So Godwinson made a lot of claims in his video.
So I wanted to chime in for a second because in their videos they did refer to Godwinson as Adam, but I don't think they ever mentioned that his last name was Edge or that he was technically Lord Edge. More to the point, more interestingly, the WWE wrestler Edge, his real name is Copeland. His last name is Copeland. Couldn't make this shit up if you tried. It's just, I don't know who created this, like, Frankenstein monster of lowest tier entertainment possible, but really did a good job on the writing. So yeah, I never knew what the last name was. I don't know about everybody else, but I do know that he was referred to as Adam all the time. On a regular basis, that I knew as a casual viewer of their show, that his name was Adam. Further than that, or his PayPal email address, or his PayPal link, that was also sensitive information, it was just a weird, I mean, I guess it explains it, right? Oh, I was drunk. I guess okay, if that's going to be your take on it, but this is some shit Ralph would have done. And I think this is shit that Ralph no longer does because he has probably learned by now, donations kind of dry up when you start doing shit like this. When you start becoming more comfortable with taking sensitive information of your friends and leaking it. Like, if he's willing to do that for someone he said was his best friend, what do you think he's willing to do to the donors? People who, he has a long history of having no respect at all for people who donate to streams. So there's that as well. But anyway, let's continue on here. Because I don't know how long we'll watch this. There are a couple of choice parts I wanted to cover. I know I said we were going to do a full watch, but as soon as I had to listen to Worski stutter his way through a fucking sentence, I knew that wasn't going to happen. So probably hit the 90-minute to 2-hour mark. Somewhere in there is when we'll wrap up. But with that, we'll continue on here.
Any of them true? Were you planning on firing Worski? Was Godwinson going to become a co-host on the show? What was the situation with, what is it, Persephone? Was he going to have a show with Godwinson? What's the story?
No, I mean, I give my perspective. I'll give my perspective from what I knew, okay? And then he'll talk about what actually happened behind the scenes. From what I gathered, was that Godwinson had given Ashton the blessing to have the show with me, right? And he was like, oh, it's doing well and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But then I think it was probably 4 or 5 months into our show, so probably like last month or the month before that, was when Ashton pitched the idea of what if we got him as a third chair. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool, right? And then that's all I knew. Like literally, I knew nothing else, but Ashton will not go on.
Yeah, so as Andy said, I mean, back in January, I told Adam, I'm like, look, I don't want to do this, but I don't feel like I have any other options. I got to do this. I'm fucked. I got to start making some money. I want to do the show with Andy. And what he had said to me was, he's like, I absolutely understand that. You got to do what you got to do to survive,
funny
man.
thing, I wanted, again, excessive pausing on the bingo card is definitely now X'd out because of me alone. But I wanted to mention, people are saying Leo Pirate won. It did start to go downhill when he left the show this week in Nectar, yeah? I kind of liked to not like Leo Pirate, right? You ever have those... he's like a Jack from Red Letter Media. The necessary person for you to go, oh, this guy. But without that, it makes the other... or without that, it ruins the flow of the show. You got to have that one person that kind of says those things. Like a good example, I remember listening to it this week in Nectar, where he brought up something called the atomization of culture. He said it with the inflection up just like that, and I immediately went, oh man, eyes rolled in the back of my head so powerful I almost had a fucking seizure. But at the same time, when you take that part out of the equation, it makes everyone else look less cool. So it kind of sucks it went the way it did, but yeah, in retrospect, in hindsight, I kind of miss Leo Pirate on in this area. I thought Leo Pirate was occasionally funny, but I guess we should just be happy for him to get caught up into this fucking shit Sunday.
I give you, and I said, like, I'm not going to do it unless you tell me that it's all right, because I really valued his opinion. I'm like, do you think that this is okay? Fair. He said, I think it is okay for you to do this.
Look, I don't want to pause over it too much, but do you ever have like friends of yours
he'll fuck you on the money,
that they have like
now,
borderline pretentious shit they say,
so
and
far,
even though you like them, you
Andy
go, fucking hell, I have to sit through this garbage, do I?
Pay, and I've honored them with him, sort of thing.
Yes.
But Adam
told you a long
me
time
at
ago
that
it'd end
time,
like this?
It was a couple episodes into the show, probably 2-3 weeks in. He said to me, I'm gonna probably leave
Gun Report.
I
actually got that vibe. Is that he was
I'm probably never gonna be
engine.
back. I may interact.
He was the
with
intelligent
you. I may call
one out
you
of all
from
of
time
them.
to time, and we may chat.
What I was saying about him
we
was
may
meant to
hang
be
out in
a
real life in the
compliment,
future,
but
things like this.
I guess it didn't come out that way.
I've got this new, dream job, and it was a job that he was really excited for, in a field that he had always been interested in.
Buddha mode. I like that.
And he was working for somebody that was very important and very influential and a public figure. And I don't want to go into it too much. I sat down and I
didn't mean to insult the guy, man. I'll stop the video to apologize. My intention wasn't to insult him. There are people like that you kind of like, but then they say things that make you go like, groan, I don't want to have to hear this, even though he's right and he's probably making a good point. Like, if you see It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, in the manner like one of those characters would be told something good, and they just go, fuck me, I have to sit through this, even though it's genuinely good information. You just seemed upset, and I didn't mean to piss you off, brother. He seems okay by me. I actually rather
yesterday, a
like the
couple
dude
days
in
ago,
This Week in Nectar when I was
going
watching
into
the last
more detail, but I don't think it's
a few episodes a while
appropriate to
back.
do so.
I remember having a
but,
thought,
but this job he got, right? It was a new job, new prospects, new opportunities. So about 6
Double
months
down, yeah,
later,
that's right.
I think
Double
it was
down. I should be
June
doubling
2nd,
down
he
right now.
comes
That's what
back
people do.
online,
I'm forgetting
and
how to
he
do
gives
internet
me a
blood
call.
sports.
And we start shooting the shit like we usually do. We're talking about what movies we've seen, what's going on in the world, and policy. We're
Bow
talking
to
for
me,
hours.
buddy.
And I asked
Only if you
him
bow
about
to me first.
the job that
Well, bow.
he's been doing.
Never mind. That sounds bad.
And he kind of just tells me a big fucking sob story about this job that he's doing. That
A sob story? No way.
It is really, it is, working for somebody influential, somebody important, but it's not what he thought it was going to be.
No way, a sob story?
That he's kind of being treated as like the office gopher, the office bitch boy.
How convenient for your shaming of this person who
tea.
betrayed you that they have a bad
He's
job.
being told to fucking make this guy
At least
sandwiches.
that dude works instead of shaking his fucking titties for
is
money.
like,
PPP.
Requesting
Far more honorable
that
to be
Godwinson
employed.
rub his fucking shoulders
Fuck's sake.
while he's working so he doesn't fall asleep. He's having fucking Godwinson. He's like, can you whistle calm down braces just to keep my brain stimulated? So my fucking good friend sitting here having to rub this guy's shoulders, fucking whistling Dixie. He's saying, my time is
Muslim
not my
ghost
own
hunters tonight?
anymore.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm always down for that shit.
I wish I could fucking have the freedom to not have to do this schedule. I'm having to work a lot of fucking overtime. This guy's fucking bringing me in on my days off, and sometimes it seems like it's just to fucking embarrass me. Like, apparently he brought him in on the weekend and asked him to wash his fucking car for him. This is the sort of shit he was having to deal with. And one of the things that was really fucking heartbreaking for me to fucking hear, this public figure, they're supposed to go to a children's cancer hospital together. Him and this public figure are going to go to the children's cancer hospital.
I mean, I got to interrupt you a little bit here.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know. I'm going on a long, long tangent.
No, it's not that, but it's like you understand, like, he's totally fucked now, right?
Well, I don't think he's totally fucked.
I do. I mean, you've given out his name, you've confirmed it. Now you've confirmed the kind of job he works in, and then you've given a specific event.
I mean,
you gave a specific event he went to with this guy. So now all anybody has to do is look up an event that's similar to that with a guy, his name, and now they know him.
100% that. When I was watching this, I couldn't believe my ears. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up. Like, what kind of dude does this, especially to a former friend? After I saw Grifter PPP, like, I did lose a tremendous, whatever, for lack of a better word, whatever the equivalent is for internet personalities, right? My likeness of the guy just dropped. It was like, oh, he's begging for money. Like, wow. But whatever I liked about the guy disappeared the moment that fucking happened. That was some real scumbag shit, dude. And I thought that was beneath you, Ashton. You're a real cocksucker for that one.
So why the fuck would you do that, man?
Listen, I just think it's important to provide some context to why I was considering working with him. And I think that the stories are important in a sense to bring that up.
No, man, Coffee.
But
I
I
think
haven't mentioned in specific certain details that I think really would.
I disagree.
I'm trying to leave those out of the story.
Oh, I think you've double dicked him at this point. I just wanted to know what, I guess, the start of the business relationship was. Okay, so I kind of understand how it's structured between you two. And, the Percept thing saying that he was going to, Andy, I think you brought that up, that he was going to do like a show with Godwinson. Was that something that was going to happen? I mean, it sounds like there was a negotiation to get him on the channel.
I mean, there was a negotiation. There was a negotiation.
Did that involve money?
It did involve money. I mean, what the ultimate agreement had become was...
Which, by the way, there's a good archive of a lot of the This Week in Nectar. I tried to do the ones that I could find, but I doctored up the audio a little bit, cut out like intros and outro videos and I guess like smaller segments that wouldn't make sense if you just listen to it on its own. But they're up on Spotify. I think I might have the information for that account still. It was on a throwaway. But those are on Spotify if anyone is interested in listening to them.
I was going to pay him because he needed to quit this job and he needed assurances. I was going to pay him £2,000.
It's under
a
This Week in
month
Nectar on
to
Spotify.
do
You
the
should be able to find
show.
it.
You know, and whether or not he was going to be the third chair all the time, or if he was going to be providing edited content, there was a lot of back and forth on that. But the agreement was I was going to pay him £2,000 a month. And I ended up paying him...
It does continue, Radio Ruin. It always fucking
because
continues.
I could only send $1,000 at a time was the limit. I sent him the first payment of that, which was like $800. And then the expectation would be that I would send continued payments each week in order to get him his rate. We were going into the show with Flamenco. That's when I thought it would be a great idea to bring him on board for the show.
Those are all.
Yeah, can I do an aside for that with the?
Yeah, real fast.
Go ahead, Andy.
I know I missed some good ones.
I had no idea about this agreement, 0% like knowledge, and Ashton was literally taking it out of his pay, not mine at all. I literally had...
Dude, that's the thing, Andy. You keep lifting Ashton like that to throw him in front of the bus, you're gonna kick Salt Poppy's ass. That's gonna be one hell of a workout, dude. You're gonna be fucking ripped and sweet.
Andy,
I had
all
no
those
idea.
workouts you've been doing help you get the muscle strength to throw his ass under the bus. I don't know this fucking man. I have nothing to do with this fucking man.
No, I'm saying that because you brought.
I mean, I am. I don't drink anymore, but yeah, I had a problem with binge drinking.
He told me
for
that
sure.
he had paid Godwin.
It just got too fun, right? I wouldn't drink on my normal days and go, "Hell, I'm doing a fucking show tonight. Tonight we drink," and then I just wouldn't stop.
Now Ashton told me the truth, like yesterday or the day before.
No, man, it got pretty bad.
I wasn't lying in my tweet.
As drunk as I got on stream, you shouldn't get that
well,
drunk.
It did end up
Partied
turning
a little
into
too
that.
hard.
So the situation with Flamenco happens.
Well, actually, I've got two things. Now we'll get into the fun stuff. So,
switch
you
to
and
heroin,
Godwinson, would you say you were friendly before all this?
No, man, I
Of course.
Yeah, good friends. So, okay.
I just drink coffee.
So you just
now,
doxed
man,
his ass
I
on
kicked
stream.
Red Bull as well.
Now, Andy, going back to what we
I
talked about
dabble,
with
but I haven't
Power
had
Chat.
any Red Bull today.
Even if we
I
don't
bought
know
two,
if Power
right?
Chat
And then
is
just
routed
sit
through
there and
AF
go,
Groypers
I can just
doing
keep
tech
drinking
support
water and
shit.
coffee.
Like, I mean,
all
we
day. I
don't.
don't even need them.
So it could be Clean Louise
We're working
might,
on it.
be straight up on that. I don't know. I really don't. I don't code.
Yeah.
But you did bring up the point that the end user, like what happened with Beardson, does get the information.
Mm.
So if I were in your audience,
that
right
would not
now,
surprise me.
and
at all.
I found out one of the co-hosts just threw his friend under the bus, and I'm a donator, how do I feel safe giving you my information through a donating
even better,
platform,
Jim. Even better. He threw Godwinson under the bus. He's like former best friend. So there's like two. Surfer is apparently a stalker now too, by what PPP says, right? He's obsessed with me. Even though it seems mutual, since the Daka account is in the Surfer streams talking shit to him. So I mean, it's not like if that's the case, it's a mutual obsession. But again, it's just rich, very ironic.
It's not Power Chat. If you're using,
but
any
if
other
he was
alternative,
Godwinson,
how do I know? Like, who's handling?
He's
the
not going
money?
to give a shit
Am
about
I
a
safe?
pay-pig.
What if Ashton gets mad at me?
It's me. It's through my email. Or was until now. Like he's using Stream Elements.
Whoa, dude, I didn't know that.
2 days ago. I know what you're saying. But in all fairness to Ashton, he was.
Are you fucking with me?
As fuck, he didn't mean to do that, and I don't think that he thought that story would connect Adam with that.
Okay,
well, I know, but just from the audience's perspective.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah,
you're right.
I still probably wouldn't have believed it at face value, but I would have looked into it a little.
I'm not your friend. How do I know I'm not?
You're
the
not
next,
kidding. Okay. Well, fuck, I'll have to look into that, man.
You know what I mean? Like, he threw that guy under the bus for no reason.
Look, we've gotten some of the craziest donos, horrific, saying the most horrific shit, and I would never. And Ashton would never. I think the reason Ashton's telling this story is it's a lot more deeper and personal, and it explains
one of the parts. I wish I had
story.
the time code for it. I should have been taking timestamps when I was watching it. There's a part where he directly calls Surfer a pedophile with it does not expand on it at all. He's like, oh yeah, Surfer slept with an underage girl and blah blah, and continues on. And like I'm thinking Jim was checked the fuck out, but somebody probably should have gone, no, stop the car. Like, stop the fucking car. We need to get out and stretch, and we need to go over that accusation you just laid down. So you're saying that you shacked up with a pedophile, PPP, is what you're... Forget what, this very Ralphian move you did here, the very Ralpha male move, by, in your attempt to insult somebody else, it said a lot about you, right? So, if that's the case, if Surfer slept with an underage girl, why were you, PPP, doing everything? I think you were calling people pedos and shit, about morally outraged about it, but now you knowingly slept with somebody who did that, said nothing up until now, when you needed to use it to stab the dude in the back? Kind of weird. Well, stab the dude in the front. They're no longer got backs towards one another. So stab towards the front. Let's say that. So really think about that though. Makes you think, doesn't it? Gets that jogging a noggin, eh?
Story that he's trying to convey here. As for people who donate, we would never, I would never give someone's information, and I really think that Ashton...
It's like with flamenco, right?
And to be fair, I haven't seen that
well,
happen.
Ralph, if flamenco's all these things, you were associated with him for a while.
I suppose it is a fair question.
It is fair. Sure.
I don't know. I tried to tell that story in a way that wouldn't fuck him over, but I don't know. I guess you're viewing it as it would fuck him over. I'm trying to leave things out. So it is what it is.
Oh, it's doing what it normally does. You'll have to resend the link in 10 minutes when it shuts.
Yeah.
To go into the flamenco thing. Okay. That was a disastrous stream. Yeah. I thought you guys...
What a disaster that was. Let's go down here. We'll look at the time codes. I love there are other Kino Casino streams that you can do, and there are 8 or 9, maybe even more, donation breaks with just a few minutes in between them. It's fucking nuts. Let's see.
Address it, but I'm sure they've got some excuse. I know that they're doing a subscription model. Luis was talking about it. I wonder if that's going to be implemented like some kind of drop shipping thing or some retail arbitrage where you make it look like you're doing it, but really you're backed by somebody else. It's obfuscated. So I wonder if Dick Masterson with his new NP2P2 double boogaloo is going to use Power Chat to make this happen. If that's going to be the back end shit of it.
I didn't know about that because
when
Fuentes
I've
made
seen
a
the
post
flamenco shit, some of it anyway. I disavow in the strongest fucking forms, by the way. I was on his stream once with I believe it was Gator after Gator left, and I really just wanted to ask Gator about the picture Ralph took with the Kid Diddler hat on. I just had to ask. I need expanded lore on this, please, ASAP. Yeah, I disavow in the strongest possible terms. What a weirdo.
One of his alternate Twitter accounts about, or when Dick made a post about New Project 2 or 3 or whatever the fuck it is, Fuentes had liked that comment on his alt account. So I wonder, is there going to be some sort
I
of
should have enough
integration
respect for
between
myself
those
to
two?
not get
He probably liked it because his
too
fucking
hard.
employees are all the developers for the goddamn Power Chat.
Well, that's what I might be saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know in particular.
Okay, well, I've asked my questions that I wanted to ask. As, people sent a few in. I got my answers. Where you boys go from here, we'll see. Do you think Godwinson's going to continue his line of attack? Will you have Godwinson on to have a discussion with him about this?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I have no fucking clue what's going through his head right now. I wish it didn't happen the way it's happened between me and him. We were good friends. I know you've always said no internet friends.
By the way, I love that Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 parody he made. Flamenco, leave those kids alone. Even if controversy wasn't true, even that alone is damning. That good of a parody song, it's over, bro. It's gone. It's over. But someone was asking for a TLDR. I've only seen enough to make me scoot the chair back and go, I'm good. I have nothing to do with this. It's pretty bad though. Bad enough that his own close associates, Nicholas DeOrio and Augie RFC, I've heard him referred to as Auschwitz Augie, which admittedly made me laugh. Because he's rather small individual. Not a lot of meat on his bones is what I'm saying. But even they recently did videos exposing him and stuff, or going at him, maybe streams. I don't know the particular details, but I know it's bad.
Had interacted in real life and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just felt, stabbed in the back a bit by him.
Oh, cool. Check out your art, man.
It's just a shame it's happened, but I don't know. Whatever he wants to do is that's his business.
And what about Surfer? Would you do a stream with Surfer to talk it out?
No.
That bridge is burnt.
There's just no value in that, because all that's going to happen is going after each other in such a way that it's just destructive to the two of us, and I have no interest in that. Which is why I try and not engage with him, because I don't even think that he realizes the damage he's doing to his own life and to his own family with some of the stories that he tells. And sometimes he just gets drunk and says shit. Like, I heard him the other day say that he slept with an underage girl and shit. Like he needs to fucking chill the fuck out. Jeez. He's got to chill out. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe one day, years from now, me and him will fucking reconcile.
Just
but
let it go.
Every day attacking
no one needs
each
to mention
other,
that.
or him attacking me, like, it's not going to reconcile that way.
Just throw that.
I
out
wish
there
I could
casually.
be friends with him again, but when one guy keeps talking shit, bringing up details from your past, a few things are true, a lot of things are lies, but a lot of things are something with a seed of truth that's twisted into a whole different fucking story. And there's a lot of stories I can tell about him that I just don't have interest in, because it hurts him and it hurts his family. I just don't want to deal with that. So that's why I don't interact with him.
Oh, okay. I guess my last two questions in relation to Surfer. That's so fucking stupid, but I hear it go back and forth. Did you get vaxxed to the max, PPP? Because that's one of his claims. Okay. And then what is with the high heel collection?
Okay. I don't know where he came up with this from. But even if it was true, who gives a fuck? Even you, you have a foot fetish, Jim. Like, who gives a fuck?
Oh, it's actually Sargoy, one of their Dannies.
But he's saying that you have like a personalized high heel collection.
Where are the pictures of this collection? Like, we lived together. And here's the thing. Where did I store it? I lived on the fucking couch. Where did I store the collection of heels? We filmed the whole apartment a million fucking times from every different direction during Cooking with Surfer. Where's the collection of high...
Welcome, dude. Welcome aboard.
...heels? That's just one that he's made up out of fucking thin air.
I could be wrong. A friend of mine watches the Surfer streams and kind of gives me... Like, he watches it and I'll ask him, like, anything interesting. I think he mentioned to me recently that there was a... he used to pay some chick, or that he knew some chick. Let's just be charitable and say he knew some chick to come over and model high heels for him. That's the... allegation. He didn't exactly deny it.
That's one that's just like,
I was at his house this weekend, and I can.
Here's another one.
In a different house.
Listen, here's another one that he brings up. He talks about Ben. Yeah, when I was 8 years old, I had a sleepover, and my buddy grabbed my tit. 10 years later, I'm not even, he comes out as gay. So I tell the story. I've told the story on stream a million times. Like, that turns into there were gay lovers, da-da-da-da. It's like, listen, man, if I was gay lovers with him, there's no doubt I was gay with you. And then that leaves some uncomfortable questions. But that's another story where...
I don't know if maybe some of you guys follow... Who am I kidding? You guys all follow the fucking Ralph shit, right? The Gunt Forum, every weird development that happens in that saga, it's fucking insane, right? But there was a time where there was just shit that was straight obviously bullshit, and some people ran with it, right? Like, there was an image of Ralph sticking his tongue out, right? And the image like fucked up, so it looked like he had all these. It was gross. But to own the haters, Ralph showed his tongue on stream. So, A-Log's blown the fuck out. Or there's the whole things with the AIDS tests. So somebody in IP2, I think Attila, has HIV. And because Attila had sex with somebody, and that person had sex with a couple people, it's like a weird series of speculations. I mean, it's entirely possible. But, Kino Casino is no stranger to running with fiction for humor. So it's, again, kind of funny to hear all of this nonsense coming from them. And again, this, I think, 6 months? Has it been about 6 months? Like, that's about the shelf life of a Warski show, right? Let's go down the list. We have Warski Live. We've got Fuck Yeah. We've got Purple Dragon. We've got Twisted Mind. We've got... And I want to say Twisted Mind had different eras where there were different co-hosts, like Kyler, Geek Thulu. I'm trying to remember some other ones. But, like, they never last long, see, oddly enough. You know, one might say that there's a pattern that has developed. But I'll read up with chat here in a second and let the video play a little bit more.
It's like, who even really gives a fuck?
I know, but I mean, when you put them all together, like Surfer paints this picture of you running around getting your tits grabbed in high heels and being emotional with men. Is that how you're able to suss out Nick Fuentes? Is it like gaydar?
It's the gaydar, Daddy Jim.
Is that what's going on?
That's straight up
Twisted
what's
Mind
going
lasted
on,
for years.
brother.
Okay, I stand corrected.
All right, boys.
Squad.
Well, I think we did. I think we did.
Warpath,
Like, I
that
got
was
to
the
ask
other
the
one.
questions I want. I don't know how satisfied chat is. Let's see what that poll's sitting at. Are we felted fuckboys sitting at 82%?
Well, we got
3,000 votes.
We got 18% though. We got the 18% loyalists who were with us even during the darkest hour of the casino. So.
You know, and it's just that. So do you think? I guess my last question to you is
there's
this:
another one.
If you had a fucking time machine to go back and you just address the fucking thing, would you just do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even said this in a drunken stupor. I was like, we should have just talked about it. Like, you know, but that's the risk of the online, like, or the live shows, right? It's hard to react to things, certain, you know, like, and you really learn the hard way. And yeah, we're sorry, guys. We didn't just talk about it immediately. We should have, you know. But yeah.
And I guess I have like a PPS question. So, like, following up on that, how does it feel now to have, well, to probably be the only two people right now, at least at this moment, who Flamenco can shit talk for fucking up, taking him down?
I don't know. Flamenco's got enough of his own problems to be talking any sort of shit.
I know, but you didn't close the deal. So if Flamenco showed up and he's like, hey, you know, eat my shit, like, oh, how is that?
Well,
like,
maybe
what's your reaction?
Maybe we'll be dealing with Flamenco later on this week.
Is there a Flamenco special coming up?
Yeah, there is. There is a Flamenco special coming up. The Redemption. Whoa, this time I'm actually going to play the clips.
Leave them kids alone.
I mean, well, Jim, what's your opinion on Flamenco? Has he disappointed you? Has the Golden Boy let you down?
So I think when the hentai leaks came out, I thought it was more humorous than anything. Mm-hmm. And then when the pedo Steam group shit came out, I was like, that looks really fucking bad. So I looked at it as they were talking about it, and it was the German guy who was in one group with him, who was in another group with a bunch of people that had like kid pictures, and they're switching them around. I don't know. There's a lot of smoke there, man. And it's hard for me to ignore that and be like, oh, well, that's just got to be a fucking coincidence. You know, like, if you're in a situation...
It's funny. I basically had the same reaction. The hentai stuff came out. I'm like, this is bad enough that I'd go, you know, scoot back and go, okay, that's good. But it's mostly embarrassing. You know, the Boy Soprano, as far as I can tell, is cheese pizza. It appears to me to be. I didn't go seek out that, you know, I saw the tags that somebody had posted, like, hey, these are what it's tagged as. And I go, okay, well, I've seen enough. And then when the next thing came out, it's like, all right, now I see I made the right call. Jeez, what? Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But I'm sure Augie or D'Oreo have covered it pretty well. I think there was even like a good old-fashioned internet blood sports with Flamenco and D'Oreo recently. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see somebody post it. So where to from here? Where are we at? We're at 90 minutes, basically. All right. Perfect. So anything you think I should go over, chat? Let's go ahead and minimize that. Bring chat up on screen so you can see it there. Where do we go from here? For the next few minutes. I'm not going to be here forever. Let's fucking hope not, anyway. As far as I can tell, those are the juicy bits from the stream. The things that I think are worth pointing out. Bad stuff. every time money gets involved in internet shit posting, it always goes south every single time. I really do hate to see it, because a lot of these people I kind of liked, or, you know, for a while I thought they were pretty funny. Seeing everybody go down this dark path has just been shameful. There's no other word for it. Let's see. Went and checked. It's very much that theme. The college part Flamenco uses as an offense is an obvious mistranslation of the Japanese word gakuen, which also means academy. So yeah, they are kids in this cartoon. Let's see. No one but the Ralph Mail covered the audio leak since it came from Cow, and he's the only one with balls. I didn't even know the cyclical was still going on. I thought that website was gone. I don't even know what audio leak you're talking about, but if I were a betting man, the guy I would send it to, or lady, depending on who you are and who you think they are, Sunrise. That's where I get all my IBS news from. So I think it's, what's the fucking handle? It's like Sunrise Media 5, I think is it. So I'd send that to Sunrise, and, you know, I would be surprised if you sent it and it didn't get into a video. Watch the 2-hour Nick to Oreo video on Flam, dude. Bro, I'm good. You miss the longer bit with PPP, cucks even more. He really does, but I think I've seen enough. I would encourage you all, if you want to see the full version, it's up there on Kino Casino's channel. It's the most recent stream. I say the N-word with a hard R. Neighbor! There you go. Let's see. I don't have Discord at the moment, like, open on the computer. I don't even know if I have it installed. But I'll check it out, man. Yeah, I heard that about her as well. I was another similar moment where I had to, like, go, why is everybody in this fucking area, like, such a weirdo? Let's see. I see people say that it's T-Clips. I'm not entirely convinced. You know, when you've just seen enough of somebody's content to go, that's not how they type. You know, like, if he's or they are in chat for premieres, when that person's in chat, that doesn't sound like T-Clips to me. I don't know. I bet you it's another IVS person. Like, I just can't imagine who it would be. King of Pole said he was helping those two plan the shows. I did see the COG stream, and I'm like, I have a slight interest in watching it, but King of Pole is not the best person to take at his word, and I kind of like Brian, but, you know, I don't know. I'll have to put an X to doubt unless there's something to accompany his testimony. Damn. T-Rise. Anyway. One thing I did see, right, because that channel has merchandise. Yeah, the part where they refused to say that they were felted fuckboys. So somebody went ahead and made this bad boy. A-logging merch, excuse me. A-logging merch. Wouldn't that be some fucking wild shit, though, if it turned out that Ralph was running Sunrise? Because Sunrise A-logs him pretty hard. Let's see. Yeah, there's something about King of Pole that I can't help but kind of go, he's all right sometimes. But would I trust him with something like that 100% at face value? No. Esoteric PPPism, I believe I'm subbed to that channel. It's bad. There is a PPP anime. I forgot I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen, and I could kind of understand after seeing a couple of users on the Gunt forum get basically kicked the fuck out. They got the special pink triangle. I see why people don't like the clout chasing. Like, I hope to God I never did it to the degree that I'm seeing. Like, I don't want to name drop anyone specifically, but there are people who are desperate to just make this a thing that they do instead of just kind of having fun with it. Yeah, I kind of picked up on that. Oh, Talks interview? Fuck, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and like nope out of that one. Yeah, dude, Baron, I'm out of the loop, to be honest with you, and I spent a lot of time like reading up on all this stuff because it amuses me greatly. It's my equivalent of reality TV. That's some Ralph tier art, bro. Whoever's running that shit. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, actually. It was much funner when there were fewer people dunking on him. I'm one of those people that even when I watch something go to shit that I liked and enjoyed doing, like, I'm glad other people are having fun with it too, but there's a part of me that just goes like, fuck you guys for ruining the fun. Anyway. Oh, okay. I heard that clip of the interview, and yeah, woo! I think collectively the entire Guntosphere just uninstalled Super Gunt 64 and just pretended that they never heard of the guy. Yeah, that was bad. Did you see the clip of Biden defending drunk driving? I did not. I did see the clip of him saying he has cancer, though. I mean, bro, it's not the cancer. You don't got to worry about the cancer, Biden. You're being Joe Biden's the first thing that's going to bite you in the ass. And the second thing would be Hunter Biden's laptop. The third thing would be your fucking dementia. And the fourth one would be old age. And then at a fucking distant fifth, yeah, maybe if you have cancer and he probably doesn't, yeah, maybe then he needs to worry about it. Good man, Simp Show. Good man. Yeah, Sargo, you're right. It's like we've gone full circle. We've already, like what happened with Ralph, where it's now fun to just ironically be pro Ralpha male, at least for 5 minutes before he makes himself look like an asshole again. Like the fall of the Kino Casino, this should be like one of his happiest moments, and he's spending it seething on Twitter. And yes, it is one of his happiest moments. When his adversaries go down, that's happier than when any of his kids were born. I'm not saying that to A-log him. That's 100. That's just fact. But what should be his happiest victory lap in a long time, what is he doing? He's on a stream with Bibble, Baked Alaska, and I like Grossly Offensive. I think he makes great videos. Seething about Jim. Just counting his tweets, and Bibble's like telling him he needs to apologize and saying some weird, like, everyone's just seething about Jim all the time now. It should be his biggest fucking victory of all time, and just wasting it, fucking seething about his internet dad. It's weird shit. Can we play out with my jury duty video? With all due respect, we've reached the peak to when I go, I'm about to nope out of here in about 10 minutes. So I just realized my girlfriend's lingo is starting to rub off on me. Dude, yeah, I don't think Bibble went insane. I think he was always insane. But I've heard some insane shit come from his mouth the last few days. Love it. Yeah, I agree, Codex. I rather like Grossly Offensive. And then the next person says Grossly is a weirdo. I don't trust him. You got 50-50 in the chat, bud. Bro, are you kidding me? I'm learning in real time. Like, okay. Disavow in the strongest possible forms of Grossly Offensive too, if that's fucking true. Is everyone a weirdo? Is anybody just a guy that, goes and works a job, comes home and says, I'm just shit on some weirdos for a minute, and goes home? Man, everyone's fun. This is crazy. That can't be true, is it? It's just that I don't feel like looking for anything right now, to be honest. I know Jim should have just played that D&D game with Bibble. I have to play the 4.5 hour Nico documentary. He was just pretending. Oh man, that's sad to hear. I hope that's not true, but like everything, a lot of the other stuff you said is true, so I don't see why you would start lying now. Bibble streamed with Davy Crocco. Oh man. Holy fuck. I don't mean this I know this is going to sound mean, right? But I can't imagine a better way of finding a full night of sleep. Bibble and Davy Crocco. Anyway. He's just a Brit. Let's see. I don't say anything in bad faith. All right, no, from what I can say from talking with you in this chat today, your words seem solid, man. But yeah, it's really just the end of the internet, man. It's the end of this side of the internet for sure, because everyone's turned into the very thing they've grown to criticize. I mean, shit. It's not fun anymore when everyone has to do it because they do it to survive.
$1.
And I guess that's really what sucked all the life out of it. So, you know, an F, no, not even an F, a fucking P in chat for the internet sphere I grew to really like and watch turn to fucking dust. I like the Dark Soul analogy, I will admit. Yeah, perhaps a P or an S to spit or piss, respectively. But it's been crap. You know, even in cases where there could have been some funny things happening, it's always second to, or even third to, blowing up somebody's ego about how important they are, and second, the grift. And then third, okay, maybe we might make some content, but how cool do I feel? You know, how big and famous and trying to cope about not having anything else going on in my life. Like, what level are we at? I heard that, simp, but I don't know the details of him supposedly drinking his own piss. But it's been crazy. I mean, I guess this is the way it always goes. I remember Tonka saying Andy would cry about money. Maybe everything Tonka said wasn't a lie. You know, I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was. Man, what I wouldn't give to be like a fly on the wall on the night where PPP and Worski were recording that Godwinson video drunk, telling Jim, I'm sorry, we can't do the Kino Casino tonight. I'm hanging out with PPP at his house, you know, so we can't do the show with us both in the same place. Instead, they had to do a Godwinson hit piece video drunk, coming off looking worse than they looked before, and it's just been a domino effect. Each time they try to respond or react to something, they do it in a way that makes them look even worse than if they had done nothing at all. Simp show, so you can say 100%. Okay. Well, fuck, man. I don't know about that, buddy. Anyway, I think that's a good enough place to call it, chat. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. What a disaster. I watched, out of Worski, I would have expected this, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't very unimpressed. This is the word I would use. It's like incredibly unimpressed with the bullshit I've been seeing happen lately. I wanted it to go better, but them's the breaks, man. I honestly think the show always sucked. Never watched a whole episode. Where's the tab that I am looking for? Just a second here, chat. Okay. Well, first, before I end out, because I don't want to completely piss on everybody's face. I mean, come on, I'm not R. Kelly. We had Cancer Man, Ear Juice, Cypoth, and One Step Too Far. Thank you for your donations, folks. It's nice. I'll use this to buy some toilet paper so I can wipe my ass, unlike the 400-pound Canadian that seems to be incapable of doing so. So I hope you all have a good night. T-Clips is in the chat to say you can't just end now. Yes, I can. I'll return sometime soon. End this grift. I see Hail JMK. Oh man, John Michael Kelly. What a funny guy that guy is. But you all have a good night. Take care. I hope there was a coherent narrative, because I feel so rusty doing a live stream like this. It's like there's got to be more to it, right? Like I'm missing something, I'm forgetting something. Apparently this is like laborious, a very laborious task. So at least if you base it from what these people on the internet are making it out to be, that they constantly need to be compensated for their time, as if it's like not just a job but a career. Okay. But anyway, take care, everybody. I'll try to do streams a little bit more often. I have more time on my hands. I'm going to be home a lot more. So, probably the normal shit as before. 12:30 a.m. Late at night, where no one knows we're going to be talking shit. Running away. Anyway, it's been fun. It's been fun catching up with you guys. You all have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next time on The Midnight Show.